Carbon Crest. Carbon Crest.
Carbon Crest. All right, try it over. Welcome back to Smok'n Jay's Garage. Today I am standing here with the 6.5 Creedmoor Bergara. This is the Carbon Crest. This is, you can tell it's their premier line because the bolt's got the twirly marks on it. It also has the two different lugs on it, but you can't see that till you pull the bolt out. Bergara is known for their barrels. They're made out of Spain. They are world-renowned for their barrel making. And they've got this really, really nice carbon fiber stock on here. It's going to be really light. Even with the scope on it, it's actually pretty light. I've had a lot of requests to review this gun, and I couldn't find one. Finally found one. Realized that all of the requests were from the same person. So I actually found that subscriber. Come on out here, Andrew.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Thanks for joining us today. So Andrew is going to be the first one to fire this gun because he's been wanting one. He's been wanting a review on one. We finally got one. Well, I got one. Your turn to buy one if you like it. We're going to get him over here. We're going to get him set up. You said this is your first time ever shooting a 6.5 Creedmoor, is that right?
Correct, yeah.
Nice. So you don't know what to expect, but the recoil shouldn't be bad, which is okay even if it is. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah,
let's get him behind the gun. Let's get some rounds down range.
Oh.
Got a magazine right here for you. All right, what'd you think?
Yeah, there's no recoil to it at all, especially being a light gun, yeah.
I don't know how it was from right behind the gun, but standing off to the side a little bit, it's really, really loud.
Yeah, well, it felt like it had less recoil than even in like my AR. So.
Nice, nice, okay. So that's good because sometimes light guns tend to have heavier recoil and aren't as great for those multiple shots or whatever, but I think for hunting this might be something great because you're going to be a little bit lighter to carry on. Anyway, we are going to put a couple more rounds on range. We're going to check out our target. Haven't been sighted in yet, so we're going to go ahead and sight it in. We wanted him to get the first shots out of here, so we're going to do a little bit more shooting, make a couple adjustments if we need to, and we'll be back. Stay tuned. We're getting some sighted in here. You see I've got kind of moving around here a little bit as I'm getting in, trying to get a group. I'm a little bit off right here, but you can see the kind of group we have. That's about a 1/2 inch if you look at that. Got up here. That one's a little bit worse. I'm sure that's me. That one's about 1 inch off, but you can see pretty consistently we're getting 2 shots that are at least touching. So accuracy is definitely not an issue. It's very, very accurate. Super happy with that. And again, I am just off of a bipod. If I actually had this on some sandbags where I can still move it, you know, if I had it on some sandbags where I couldn't, I bet you would tighten up those groups a lot. Right here is a 3-shot group. That one's me, that one's off there. That's when I moved over from the bipod to the tripod. Still don't have the buttstock in anything but my shoulder. So there was still some variance there for me to move. Had I had that on sandbags, we could have done maybe even better. This is supposed to be a sub MOA gun at 100 yards. And as you can see, we have all of those in, I don't have my dial calipers here, but that is 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit less than 1/2 inch. Let's talk about everything that I don't like about the gun first, because that's a pretty short list. You've got 2 different sling swivel attachments here. One for your sling, obviously, and the other one's great for a bipod. But most bipods have that like V or U cut into it to form to the shape of the stock, which is contoured. And this has got a flat bottom stock, if you can see that. So it makes that really hard to attach it to, and I ended up doing a lot better with this tripod here. If we had like a Picatinny rail on it that you could use your Picatinny bipod on that flat there, I would have liked that a lot better. That's really my only complaint about it though. I do like that it has a second one, so you can run your sling and your bipod if you want. You also have these on both sides. You can put your sling that has those little snap swivels that snap into there. No complaints there. Very smooth, very, very nice trigger. I had just put a new scope on my 300 PRC, and I was at the 50-yard line just because I just put it on and I wanted to see if I was getting on paper before I came out farther. And in comparison to that, and that's a Savage, the Savage Precision, this trigger is just so much nicer. It's very smooth, very, very light pull, very smooth action, and very, very accurate. I'm going to show you another shot of my target here before we're done. But at this price point, I picked this gun up, just the gun, not the scope, on sale for $1,424 at my local Fleet Farm. They were not going to carry them anymore, so they had a couple that they got in stock. They were on sale, and then they had a sale on top of that sale as well. MSRP on these is like $2,000 or $2,100, something like that. But they can be had for cheaper. And for $1,400, you absolutely cannot beat that. It actually was a little bit over $1,400. It was $1,490 to put the scope and the rings on it, which I like to spend about the same amount on a scope as I do my rifle. And for the record, I've got the VX5 HD, the 3x15x44 from Leopold, and that is probably one of my favorite scopes, especially on a longer range rifle. I've got that on my 300 PRC. I'm sorry, my 6.5 PRC and my 300 Win Mag, and now on this, and I really like that scope. But there's really nothing that I don't like about this gun other than I wish that it had a Picatinny rail on the bottom. The gun is super smooth, super accurate, feels good, and looks really good too. This gun comes with one detachable 5-round box magazine. I did pick up a second one for like $35. It's the same magazine for the 6.5 Creedmoor, the 308, the 22-250, the 243, and the 450 Bushmaster. So if you have any of those other guns in the Bergara, your magazines will work for multiple different calibers. I like that. Personally, I like built-in magazines better than detachable magazines, but that's just a personal me preference. I bet you a lot of you guys like the detachable ones better because you can go with 2 or 3 magazines loaded up, and it's just easier to get more shots down range versus having to load or unload as well. But that's just my personal opinion. I like the built-in magazines a little bit better than the detachable ones, but the detachable one on here does not get in the way at all. Some of these I feel like sometimes they get in the way. This one does not. So no dislike there, just not my personal preference. So just for reference here, I'm shooting Winchester 129 grain, and when I ran out of those, I switched over to the Winchester Copper Impact 125 grain. I felt like I got a little bit better groups with 125 grain, although neither one of these are match grade ammo, so I'm really putting all of this on the gun as far as we are still getting within a half-inch group, 3 shots at 100 yards. So I'm very, very happy with the accuracy. Obviously we have a good scope on, that helps. And I had a couple other people at the range give it a shot also, and everybody is getting sub 1-inch groups at 100 yards, which is what the gun says it will do. So very accurate and a very smooth shooting gun, a very, very nice trigger. I've actually got my Savage out here. I've got a Savage Precision 110, and I have a little bit of trouble with that one, but going back and forth between the two, and this is just a beautiful, beautiful trigger. I also have my Christensen Arms out here as well, and I think that the Bergara probably has a better trigger than the Christensen Arms as well. So if you're looking for a good looking gun, maybe something light for hunting, or maybe just something fun at the range, definitely check out this Carbon Crest. I do not think you'll be disappointed. If you're watching this channel for the first time and you haven't already, and you want to, boom, please subscribe.